Games, board games. I might be talking about board games, board games. I'm not gonna shout. I am starting off this streaming with a little bit of singing, and today we'll have another show where I talk about Kickstarter, and this time I'll be looking at some projects from other folk. Maybe along the way I'll have a laugh and a joke, because what's life if you can't have a bit of fun? That's the way that I like to get things done. Board games, it's what I'm talking about. Board games and Kickstarter projects, and I'm not gonna shout. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever it is, wherever you are. I am Bez, time for Bezzy Beats and Board Game Blether, because it is, of course, 10 a.m.-ish UK time. And today is episode 697. I just want to repeat that, 697. So this is Tuesday. That means 698 is Wednesday, 699 is Thursday, and episode 700, my grand special, is going to be on Friday. So please do tune in for that, with lots of amazing people, designers, the senior inventor relationships person for Hasbro, publishers, podcaster, like all sorts of people talking about efficiency. But what am I talking about today? Today I am talking about what I'm backing. I wanted to give a shout out to Ambi Valdez and also Rachel Kramer for Board Game Day. It's a fantastic project, and I'm excited to kind of, well, I was excited when I got sent the wee thing, when I got sent, hey, this is what I'm working on. Would you be interested in sponsoring this? And it's like, yeah, I'm not. Actually, I think it was put onto the reviewers thing, and I'm not, as a publisher, in a place where I can sponsor stuff, but I just love what's going on with this, and so I'll be talking about this and the other things that I'm backing, and I might have a quick skim and look at some other things if there is time. So let's crack on. And first of all, let's talk about recent highlights, living life and seeing the sights, recent highlights, playing games and other delights. Recent highlights. Yesterday, I didn't do a lot of work. I'm going to be honest here, like it's, nice heat. It's like, feels like a tropical heat. I don't know how warm it is, but, it's not above 40. It's like maybe 37, something like that today, so it's quite warm. Tomorrow's going to be quite a bit cooler, which is a wee bit sad, but yeah, it does also mean that, right now I am, like, my legs are kind of sweaty, and hello to me. Yesterday I saw a video about cryptocurrency and someone in Canada actually running off, and yeah, this person, like at one point there was a shot of Nova Scotia, and Nova Scotia looked really tropical. Like, there was no snow at all. It was like green, and it was sunny, and there was grass, and I was like, wow, I expected Nova Scotia to be like, wintry and cold all year round, but apparently they managed to take one shot where it was actually sunny. Maybe that was like the only day of the year, I don't know. But anyway, I've been doing a bit of reading. I did do a bit of preparation for episode 700. And I said I didn't do much, but I wrote an entire Kickstarter page and I sent it to be submitted, because I decided, a game about comical creatures and trying to identify them after some mixed noises. I've not quite got the following for that. Let's leave it for a while. What I'm really excited to share with people is a game about selecting 7 cards and speedily searching for synergies. So let's put that on. Let's get back to my roots. Let's make a game without, that's not been made yet. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm excited for that. Timmy says, that must have been during our week of summer. It's 17 degrees right now, but it's supposed to go up to 27 tomorrow. Yeah, 27, like that's a nice temperature, right? I mean, I hope you agree. Like for me, I think that once it's like, yeah, 27, 29, 30, like my favorite temperature is like 31. But yeah, this like 37, that's outside. There is a heat wave in London. It's a bit warmer than ideal, but anyway, recent highlights. If you've got any questionably quick questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, brilliant thing, brilliant thing. What's a little thing which is brilliant? Brilliant thing. I'm going to say that rhymes are a brilliant thing, and making things for kids is a brilliant thing. And yeah, just I want to talk about rhymes. I want to talk about poetry. Hello, Yoda. It is lovely to see you. We are kind of talking about the temperature. Timmy says, yeah, 35 every day is fine. Over 40 is a bit too hot for me. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Like over 40, I've been in places where it is like 43, and yeah, 43, that's too much. But anyway, do you agree that poetry and rhyming is brilliant? Do you like it when you're like, hey, I'm going to, I think that what does rhyming do? It gives us a bit of rhythm. It gives us a bit of familiarity. It makes us think, okay, there's a sense of completion. There's a pattern building up. Like when I go out and I'm a yeller and then I go out to my umbrella, like it's like when I say board games, that's what I'm talking about. Board games, but I'm not going to shout like at the start. It pleases our brain because our brains like patterns, and any situation where there's a rhyme, there's a pattern, whether it's A, B, B, C, C, and so forth, the most common rhyming structure, or whether it's maybe something a bit more unusual, like it could be A, B, B, B. Like if you're like really out there, like normally it's in 4, but like what you do, or it could be A, B, C, D, and so forth. But like, you know, whatever the rhyming structure, it feels, oh, that kind of wraps around. It's like why we like a story where it starts at a certain position. Do we have a sense of where it's going and it finishes up? And maybe even there, if it's a film, like there's a shot of a particular office or a shot of a particular desk or someone going in through a door, and then maybe the final shot, the person walks out through that door. Like that would be a bit maybe over the top, but quite often there is an illusion from the start to the finish because we love patterns. And I think that's what rhymes give us, a sense of joy, a sense of frivolity. And also, furthermore, poetry and rhyming in particular, because poetry doesn't need to rhyme, let's just get that out of the way. But rhyming, because it's a restriction, that might actually push you down a certain path. Like always, restrictions breed creativity. So that is my brilliant thing, rhymes. Do you like rhymes? Let me know. Yoda says, back to the temperatures, 20 is fine for me. Over 25 is too hot. Currently, it's 30 or more. Timmy says, I'm a quarter Indian. Maybe that's why I like warm weather. Yeah, and I wasn't going to, like, I am 100 by blood. I mean, my ancestry is Iranian. My parents were born in Iran, and they kind of go back through Iran. But I was born in Scotland, so I am British Iranian for the record. And so, yeah, maybe that's why I'm actually okay with warm weather. I would try to, if I were to go out after this stream, which I might do, it's in the middle of the day, I would try to avoid the kind of 12 to 2 time period. But, you know, if I go out for a quick morning walk, I will be sure to put on some sunscreen or keep to the shadows. So that's what you've got to do in warm temperature. Anyway, with that brilliant thing, let me remind you to comment, ask questions, from, like, follow. I always appreciate it. And let's talk about some Kickstarters. I am currently backing 4 Kickstarters. And I'll just get this out of the way. All of the Kickstarters that I back, I tend to back for £1. I mean, in the past year, I think I have I backed for any, like, I've backed maybe 3 things, 4 things for more than £1. Like, it's definitely not much. I know some people are like, oh, we back so many things, but like, for me, it's when I back a Kickstarter, why do I back it? I mean, I back it because I want to support it, because I really love what the person's doing. And I back it because I think that, yeah, this is awesome, and I just want to, yeah, just share this with everyone. Good morning, Alex, and I hope you all have a good time. So here we've got Board Game Day. This one, Ambi sent me an early copy that, yeah, was being shared with previewers and people who were curious about sponsorship. And so in the book, you've got these rhymes that take you through the journey of some small children, the little pandas, cats, bird, and octopus, enjoying a board game day. They'll play games together. They will, get things prepared, and then at the end they put it away. It's not the most elaborate story. I mean, if you're an adult, you know what's going to happen. But it's all about the rhymes. It's all about the structure. It's all about the way it's presented. Let's work together, save us all, or stack things up until they fall. Like, simple rhymes, simple words, suitable for people who are just born, if you want to read it out to them. Or if they are getting into reading, maybe they can read it themselves. It's done in a child-friendly font, and the meter, the tempo of this is just fantastic. Yeah, and yeah, fundamentally, I think if you do have small children, and if you've got like things that's going on with you, like, yeah, all these peeps, just to let that know, I am biased in that I know Ambi, I enjoy Board Game Blitz, I've enjoyed a lot of their previous work, I really enjoy, and here, like, yeah, there's some sponsors who, by sponsoring the game, they get their game into the book, or they get a little mention somewhere. And so, yeah, all of these peeps, like, if I had a big company like any of these peeps, like, I would have been sponsoring it, but as me, it just doesn't make sense. Let's see if there's anything else that I can really share. Look, there's deliberately not a lot of stuff shared, but let me just say that because I don't want to share stuff that's been shared with me privately, but you can get a sense of the graphics. These graphics are the same quality as what you'll get in the pages. And these pages that you see here are, if I open this in a new tab, this page here is basically the quality of the book. They start off, and it's like no peril. It's just like a lovely thing. It's just, maybe you want to get your kids into board games. Maybe you want to inspire the love of board games into them. And maybe you're like, hey, it's all about the people. Let's have a board game day. And then this is an exciting thing. Yes, it is adorable. And that is why I wanted to support this. And even though, again, most Kickstarters that I just back for £1. Like, I'll get into that in a moment. Actually, you know what? Yeah, if you are in the market for a board book where there's boards and then you flip through it and then you read it out to your kids, and then your kids can have this book where, rather than having pages where they can tear it up, it's board so that it's a bit more rigid and stuff. This is a good book. That's what I think. And it's fun to read. When I read it through, I could not help but read it aloud in my voice, even when I was reading it in my head, and then I went through and read it all aloud seconds. And I was like, yeah, that was fun. Timmy, I'm glad that you're enjoying your ice cream. And It's a board game board book. Yes, 100%. Now, I thought I'd take a little tangent to talk about why I back for £1 and why I would encourage other people, if you see something that you support, but maybe you just really support it, but you can't afford to back for a full copy, or maybe you just don't need a full copy right now because maybe it's a board game and you've got enough board games, or maybe you don't have children in your life. Maybe you just wouldn't be taking advantage of this board book. And yeah, now I think about it, maybe it would be, no, two of my nibblings are a bit young for it, and two of them are a bit old. And honestly, I'm kind of, not it. I'm not going to get into it, but I want to support things existing, even if I don't need it to exist for me. Do you know what I mean? And I hope that that's sometimes the same for you. Like, I don't want people to back for, a full copy of a game if they're never going to play it. But if you have something that you're like, hey, that's really cool, then, but I don't know if I would ever back it for £1. That's what I'm advocating, whether it's someone else's or my own. And the advantage to the creator is that it puts them up the rank, and it also tells other people, because they see it on your Kickstarter thing if anyone's following you. And also if it's someone where like there's only like 100 or 200 people or even less backing it so far, then it's like, hey, people care about that, and that's really valuable, just having that wee bit of affirmation. Yoda says, I backed, now waiting until I become a grandparent. Oh, that's lovely. Well, I hope that you've got space to keep the book, because I thought that your child was fairly small. I thought your child was a teenager. But I hope it works out very well for you. And I hope that you enjoy reading it and maybe even having a quick flick through in the meantime. Let's crack on and let's talk about Bagh Chal, which is a fascinating project. Bagh Chal, pay what you want, which is fascinating. Save this game from extinction. I have a slight issue with this word, extinction. Like, can a game be truly extinct? I'll get into that. So what's going on here? This is a game from Nepal, and it's a traditional game. It's a two-player abstract strategy game, and people are starting to become less excited about Bagh Chal. And this was apparently inspired by an article from the Kathmandu Post, where they talk about Bagh Chal, a native board game on the brink of extinction. And with all due respect, I don't know how much respect the Kathmandu Post is due. I'm sure, it's got a very nice website, that's all I can say. It sounds impressive, like it's based in Kathmandu, but local conservation efforts and online versions of the game are the only thing keeping the game alive and relevant. So, extinction, normally applied to animals, and it's also commonly applied to languages. Once an animal is dead, there is literally no way for it to come back. Once people stop speaking that language, then you're not going to get them to speak that language again. But what does extinction mean for a game? I would argue that as long as the game has the rules available, then it's not extinct, because I could take a game that no one's played for 100 years and open the box, and as long as the rules are written in, I want to say modern English, but modern English isn't like what I think of. Like, I've been picked up by this from Ababel Holland and Joseph Kelly. I don't know what modern English technically is, right? I mean modern day English. As long as it's written in a language that I can understand fundamentally, or that someone who's wanting to play it can understand, we can play it. And this game is not going to die because there are online versions. And I went online and I was like, yeah, I played this and I'm struggling. But of course, it's going to be maybe more interesting with a partner where you learn together. And so I thought, yeah, let's go for it. And it's asymmetric, which is interesting. So if one person becomes a lot better at one side, then you can swap sides. And I thought, yeah, I know Pearl, maybe we will play it a few times together and see how it gets on. Let's talk about whether this is actually saving a game from extinction. So what they've done is basically take this game, which anyone can play, by taking I think like 24 pieces, 20 of one color, 4 of the other color. You need to draw a board, and this board, the colors don't matter. It's just there for prettiness. And once you've drawn the board, you could print it out, or you could draw it on a bit of paper, whatever, then you can play it. So it could be played, but then the question is, do people play it? And it gets into the question of, people are more likely to play something when they've paid money for it. People are more likely to play something when it's got some sense of legitimacy. People might be more likely to play something when there is a pretty playmat and some nice tokens. So here what they've got is, you can sort of see the playmat that they've got, the tokens. I'm not denying it is very pretty and well done. I do find the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little orange triangles a little bit strange because they stand out so much in the board, but I really support what they're doing with saying, hey, here's an old game and let's try and bring it out and let's make sure that everyone is able to back it. And so if you go down, you can be like, well, they are selling additional copies of the game for $12. So if you want to just support them at what they consider the proper value of the set, then increase your pay what you want, pay $12. But if you feel like you're unable to pay that much, or it's not worth that much to you, then pay less. And this is really interesting. I think that the pay what you want is, I thought it would be a really good system of getting it into people's hands. But then if we look at how many people are actually backing it, it's not as many as I thought it would be. It says like over 1,000. So congratulations. That's like more than I've ever had. But it still feels like, like maybe it's because people are like, oh, you expect me to pay more, and so I'm not feeling comfortable. Or maybe it's, I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, again, if you support their mission, then you can always say pledge without reward. And Extinct in the Wild is more appropriate, maybe, says Alex. Yeah, I mean, if it's available to be played, if there's an online version, for bloomin' sake, it's just not. I just hate the emotive language that's been used. That feels a bit excessive to me. And yeah, there's literally no other reward except for this one. So either pledge without reward or pay what you want, which is fascinating. And so, yeah, I was already interested in this. I was like, pay what you want. Well, I'll pay a few quid, to get it. And So that was one that I actually paid more than £1 for. Lewd Dungeon. Again, I've just paid £1. This is an RPG, and this one's like from children's stuff to very adult stuff. So this one's for, essentially, the unique selling point is it's a simple RPG system, and then when someone dies, they perform a sexual favor on the game master. So there's two people. One is meant to play as a god, and they're basically like a games master. The other person is a hero, and they are going and adventuring. But whenever they die, instead of them being dead, then they do something, and then they accomplish a task or perform a sexual favor or do something else. Yeah, if you want to skip the intimacy parts, you can just drink or just roll a die. But it fundamentally, I'm probably not going to play this because, yeah, if I'm going to get into adult activities, I don't have anyone who I would be engaging in adult activities with, who I would also then want to role play with. But I do love the idea that people are doing stuff which is not just, okay, here's a rubbish roll and move game that we've got no thought behind, and we just put it into Ann Summers to try and make a good game, or a game that will sell. Not even a good game. It's the ludological lightning round. Love that. It feels like someone's heard that role-playing is sexy and slightly misunderstood. Just doing a bit of stretching and rolling my shoulders and stuff. But in all seriousness, I mean, this is from someone who properly understands role-playing, from someone who's actually, done a lot of stuff with, actually play-tested the game a fair bit themselves with their partner. And so I think that's just fantastic. And I would love to see more games where, I know that sex is a taboo topic, but given the amount of violence in games, I mean, would it really be so bad for us to simulate more sex in games? And as long as it, obviously, I mean, playing with consenting adults, I think that it's a really nice thing to have. I just want to see more games that push the boundaries of what's out there. I just want to see more games that are dealing in a, sensitive, respectful. I want to see more games about slavery, like about dealing about it, like in a respectful manner. I want to see more games about sex, more games about love, more games about intimacy, more games about all of these things. And I just really think that that's fantastic. So yeah, that's why I'm backing this one. Finally, the other thing that I'm backing is I Love Trains. Again, I'm backing this for £1 because, Aidan Lowther, Simon Milburn, we've got a connection. I am biased. I did just play this. It's a nice game, and I'm sure that this will be great. And Simon, Aidan, Seth Jaffe, great peeps. Seth is obviously a fantastic designer, and they've developed it and made it even better. And I just like to see people doing well. And these are also people based in Birmingham. So you've got almost 2,000 backers. So they have done fantastically. £51,000. I mean, lots of that is going to go to the printing costs. There's no denying. So, like, let's say they're making £10 per person. Like, they have done well, and so this might be enough to support them for, like, remember, there's multiple people in the company, and not all of this money is going to just one person, but it might be enough to support them for the better parts of another year. And so with this coming out, then more, and there's 22 blooming days to go. Congratulations, Aidan. And I watched through the video and it just sounded fantastic. I mean, yeah, with this old-timey thing.
And cards still in your hand.
Yeah, and the kind of choo-choo and all the thing, it just, yeah, looks fantastic. So I just realized I've not been sharing all these links. I do apologize to the people for the other Kickstarters, so let me just quickly share the other links in the comments. So firstly, for Bagh Chal, if you want to check it out there, for the adult RPG adventure, if you want to check it out there, and for Isle of Trains, if you want to check it out here. But yeah, look, it's got clever mechanisms, and yeah, it's got a nice sense of pull and push. At this point, shall we explore Kickstarter a tiny bit together and see what else is out there? And I know Moon by Dave is doing fantastically. A lot of people have gone for that, and it's got the legacy of Villagers, and then what's the second one? Villagers, and then Streets, and then Moon, and it's so it's got really nice production values, a really nice box, and Dave, started off with aplomb, working on the Gloomhaven sticker sheets. I mean, that's really what catapulted Dave out there. So well done, Dave, and I hope that it keeps working out for you. Like, this has done fantastically. Let's go to Discover and let's see if there's anything exciting. Dice sets. Pathfinder Revolution. Now, I'm not really into this. I do like some RPGs. I like RPGs which are like more focusing on something weird. I like RPGs which are about running a restaurant, or RPGs that are, and very much things that are one-shots. I would absolutely play an RPG, but when I'm playing RPGs, the bulk of that is at the smoke and other things. Again, I'm aware that I don't have time to play things like this. So the only reason that I would support something like this is, which it looks nice. I mean, there's role-playing game of Gothic fantasy, but how many role-playing games are there? How much Gothic fantasy already is there? Do you know what I mean? I'm not into 3D minis. Dice sets looks great. More dice sounds great. Halves. This is really interesting. Okay, so this is a word game, and I see they're based in London, but I'm unaware of them. So straight away I'm thinking, well, why did they never come to any of the playtest events? Like, that feels like maybe a missed opportunity, but they have done really well. They've clearly got a really great video, and maybe they're like, yeah, you know what, we don't need the feedback from all these other designers, which must say it kind of hurts, but hey ho. Let's watch the video together.
Hi, I'm Frank. I'm Dean, and we're here to talk to you about Halves, a word game for the ruthless.
And like, yeah, straight away I'm thinking, okay, the changing color backgrounds, it's really nicely shot. It is really high production values. And I'm thinking, okay, these people clearly have a decent budget behind them. That's what I'm thinking. And, I know someone else, Bauer, says, oh, do I want it? How much does it cost? Can they do it? And already this kind of really nice video production on a green screen, you can sort of see the green screen when I freeze it, but it is really nice video production with it. It already gives you confidence that they are able to deliver, right?
Inside this box, there's 2 decks of cards. On each card is 2 halves. The name of the game is for you to guess the word on my card. And if you guess it right, you win the card. Simple. In halves, there are 4 colors, which represent 4 different game types. Blue is rhymes with, yellow is categories, red is perfect pairs, and black, our favourite, are the trap cards.
And like, okay, so I'm not even sure what it is. Like, why are there 2 words per card? I mean, why? Okay, so you guess the cards were like, is it like taboo? What the hell's going on? Like, this is in my mind, and clearly they're more focused on like, hey, let's these people in, and the feels.
It's all very lovely until you get yourself a trap card. These cards are designed to disrupt the game. On top of that, there are minus points in some of the cards, so when we say you want to win a card, you might not.
Unless you like losing, and if you like losing, you should probably also repeat words, because then you probably lose. The idea for halves came to us on tour on a flight.
I don't even know what the game's blooming about. Why are you telling me all about this? How the idea came about it? Alex asks, do they know about Playtest UK? I mean, possibly not. I mean, like, if you don't know about Playtest UK, then frankly, you should. I mean, like, it feels like a fairly major thing to not know about. But yeah, this video is making me annoyed, frankly. Like, I just want to know how the game's played and whether I want it, and you're not even really telling me what it is. They are going into your history and...
to Dublin. By the time we landed, and thanks to some cards from Smith's, the first prototype was made.
And here we are, 6 years later, 3 prototypes, 1 pandemic, many tours, and lots of games of halves, and we finally bring you our game halves.
So to recap,
a lovely game, made less lovely by lovely people for less lovely people. Get our new game halves.
Did they just say it's made less lovely by lovely people, pointing at themselves for less lovely people? I mean, are they calling us less lovely? So maybe I'm predisposed to be angry, but like, this is me.
People for less lovely people.
Yeah, they just called
Get our
us
new
less
game
lovely
halves
people.
on Kickstarter now.
No. Enjoy your juice, Timmy. I mean, I'm sorry I'm getting like so annoyed, but like game for the Ruthless, 2 to 8 minutes, 30 players, fun for none of the family. Okay, let's see. Yeah, be the person with the most points. Away. How download, print, and play? Well, that's actually give me the instructions. Okay, that's taking me to zip, so that won't be fun to watch. But you know what? So I am curious enough to download it. Can you see my file structure, or does it not show that? Let's pop it there. Were you all able to see my computer folders just there for a moment? But yeah, I'm just curious. So get 5 cards, choose a word for other people to try and win. Yellow means categories, blue is rhymes with, red is perfect pairs. So the game is rhymes with, okay. Use a clue word that rhymes with the word on your card, okay. Use a clue word that perfectly fits in before or after your word. So if it's hot, you could do dog. Yeah, hot dog, okay, categories. Type, if it's lion, your clue could be circus animals, chocolate bars, etc. Traps. Okay, so it's kind of like a taboo variant. And yeah, like I'm just not getting any, like 6 years, 3 prototypes, hundreds of games. Like it sounds like they've spent a lot of time doing it, and the production values look really, really slick. The video looks great. The graphics are really nice. I just don't see why I would play this rather than another taboo variant. I'm just not getting it. Have I heard of Frank Cart's and the Rattlesnakes? last year they released some eco-friendly NFTs apparently. They are the lead singer and guitarist of a punk band, hence the reference to being less nice and ruthless. Oh. Ah, is that why they've done so well? So Frank Carter and Dean Richardson. So yeah, that I guess that's why. Yeah, that's okay. Thanks for telling me. I assumed that these number of backers were just because the video looks really cool. But it sounds like they already had, and it says like first created, zero backed. So it says sounds like they've already got their own following from music and a few hundred people. Like if you get 100 people on the first day, then that's going to snowball for sure. Like if you get 100 people in the first minute. But yeah, it sounds fine. Just doesn't sound exciting to me. Sorry to say that. Friese Freunde Fette Fetten. Is this a Friedman Fries game? Hunter and Kron, is that? I mean, if this is not a Friedman Fries game, then I don't know what's going on. Das Kurzspiel von, it's a cult game from Marcel and Friedman Fries. I don't know Marcel Andre Casola Merkley, but sounds cool. So this Hunter and Kron, they are German board game reviewers, and they also run Berlin Con. And I do not know anything about this game, and I don't really understand German well enough to understand all these things. It looks like it's a big box game, given that it costs 55 euros, and they've got 677 backers. I mean, it's a Friedman Fries game. It's German only, but I would be astonished, frankly, if it didn't have hundreds of backers. Giant metal dice. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even interested in dice, and that's a really nice thumbnail, not gonna lie. Weird Science. Like, that's one that I might actually back. I got the, I think I got the first one. I think I got Session 0, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. And it's like there are all these, Alex says, speaking about the previous game that we were looking at, Halves, a word game for the rooflets, it's an advanced merch drive. Yeah, I can get that, yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah, you want to support these people, and then there are some people who are like, yeah, we could buy that, we could get Taboo, but we're going to buy the more indie one. Yeah, I get that. Like, it's just, I'm in this unique situation where I've got a lot of games, and frankly, I don't need any game that does something that is already being done by other games. I want all my games to do something a wee bit original, but I know most people aren't in that situation. Most people have less than 10 games, and most people are like, I mean, most people have less than 5 games, and like, oh, maybe I've got a copy of Monopoly and a copy of chess, and I think there's a copy of Scrabble and Risk maybe in the attic. Like, that's, but yeah, most people might not even have like a word association, word guessing game. So for them, it doesn't need to be Breakout. But yeah, Word Science, I got Session 0. I didn't realize that this was out. And so, yeah, congratulations to them. And yeah, I'm actually curious straight away. Okay, Session 9, £9 for Session 3. Why is... Okay, there's a rolling subscription, so if you pay £9, then you save more. 4-issue subscription is 32, so you save a bit more money, so it's £8. And you can get more pages if you want. And yeah, I think it's fantastic that we are getting more print media about board games. We've got Senate. Of course, there's Tabletop Gaming Magazine in the UK. And, you know, in the US, there's the Casual Games Insider, which, for my money, it feels a bit glossy, a bit thin for what it is. And I like what it's trying to do, but there's a bit too much advertising in there. But yeah, Weird Science, it's like, hey, truth is though, I would love to see a Weird Science Senate approach to casual games, because these are great. And these pages that are showing, like, we've got people behind Wonder Home, Thirsty Swords Lesbians, Warhammer Soulbound, Zhang Chi. Oh, cool. So that's will be Banana Chan, and although I just listened to them on the Ludology podcast. Escape the Dark Castle and Root, Kieran Gillen, Simon Stillenhag, Josh Reynolds, and Guy Haley. There is a lot of I am noticing a lot of male kind of names, but yeah, just it looks really cool. And even though it is pricey, it feels like when you are making stuff, it's sometimes worth making something that's, rather than making it as cheap as possible, which is what I'm doing here, making something and then saying, okay, it's going to be a little bit gloss, it's going to be a little bit, nice, and give it a bit of a deluxe feel. Timmy says, I'm feeling too lazy to get ready for bed. You know, just one step at a time. Brush your teeth, and then are you already in your pajamas? Just one step at a time. That's all you need to do. Just like follow the voice and like just one step at a time. Maybe brush your teeth while you're listening, and then let us know how you're getting on with that. But yeah, I'll leave that open, and I'm going to possibly, see if I can back that in some manner. Company of Heroes, Mystery Dice. Interesting. I mean, there's so many dice, like people are just really into their dice. Bag of Dungeon, Taverns and Dragons, that looks cool. Oh, Good Night, Goodbye. Simple bluffing game with 3 cards. Like, you can tell what I'm into. Like, that's the kind of thing that draws my attention. Bluffing game, 3 cards, and it's super cute. So I'm not like Hitori no something wa sayonara. A game with a strange worldview. I mean, there's way more than this page was created by a Japanese who's not so good at English. Okay, there's translation software. That's okay. 3 cards to lie. I assume that it's each player has 3 cards rather than there's only 3 cards in the game. Wind, Sea, and Night. Yeah, it looks like there's 5 different kanji characters. Okay, so there's in the upper left corner 5 different kanji characters, but all of them say sea, don't they? I'm slightly confused. Okay, so you get 21 cards, 5 scorecards, so it's for 5 players, I guess, and 5 cloud chips. It's game manual. Decide on the character. This is what I like. I like to have a game where it's like, boom, this is what we're all about. The starting player is the loneliest player in the game and receives the sheep token. That is so sad. It's like, who is the loneliest? I mean, I feel kind of lonely just because I like being around people, and yes, I'm feeling a bit lonely. But yeah, for other people, like even when they're alone, maybe they're not feeling lonely. But yeah, declare the phase. Play loneliness card from hand and call out what you've chosen. It's okay for you to lie. Other players discuss and decide what they will play. And yep, you can lie. And if when Okay, let's see how this works. So if wind and sea are played and no knight cards are played, the majority gets 1 point, the minority gets no points. Okay. If one knight card is dealt, then 1 point per number of players. If played by someone else, it's 2 points. 2 or more knight cards are dealt. When 1 point per knight. Oh, so you want to be the only knight cards. If everything is exactly the same, you get 3 points. Full knight cards are... Okay, so yeah, I like the sound of this. So I get it. So like if by playing a knight card, you're kind of opting to be on the sabotaging team. So like the knight card is kind of like, okay, I want to be part of the majority. And if everyone is playing wind, then I want to be part of the majority. But if everyone just plays wind, then the dealer earns 3 points, which is, yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, I would be fascinated to play this a few times, but my concern is that, yeah, just understanding the ramifications of this game. And okay, if only one knight card is played, I'm needing to consult this again. If it's very good. If 2 or more are played, it's bad. So you want to be the only person to play a knight card, or the person to play in the majority if no knight cards are played. Or you want to, if you're the dealer, you either want to be the only knight card or everyone to be exactly the same as you. Okay. Yeah, like I can internalize it, but by the time in 10 minutes, I know I'll have forgotten. And I know that if other people are playing it with me, they would have to kind of keep consulting it. And it would take us a while until we even internalize all of this. And you need to internalize things until you actually get into the game. And so, yeah, I do like what they're doing. Like, it looks super cute, and I love the kind of, yeah, the slightly weird theme, but yeah, and yeah, I definitely don't need this one, but that is super cute. Yeah, it does make me think about how something like One Night's Ultimate Werewolf, it does have the massive advantage that yes, you can start with the simplest possible game and then build up, like take out some of the villagers so that everyone's now doing something that's actually, yeah. Drop bears technology. Okay, what's this about? I am curious. Mini Express. Hey, wait a minute. Why is this? League of the Lexicon. Yep, I know that person. I saw that. Yeah, it's basically a quiz about. It's a quiz about words rather than a word game. Like when they came and said, "Oh, this is a words game," I was like, "Yeah." I think they came along and we gave them some minor feedback and was like, "Yeah, this will do well." And sure enough, it's 46,668. Interestingly, because of the quotes from Stephen Fry and everyone, you know, of course they've done well. Muskova, huh? That's about the location. What's going on here? Let's check out Joyo. Smart board game. So yeah, let me look at this video.
Me! Oh, my career!
I mean, it's a fun video. Like, I like the music, and you know, okay, so it's a little
A whole
robot.
lot of fun. It's really interesting
Rather than
how
a
this
fun
thing
thing.
is able to just put something together and it knows all the answers and you just play off of what it tells you. Oh no, that's the bomb! I blew up! And so the bomb here, there it is. Good job, you got it.
I think it's really fun.
28,
24.
oh, only 3 lives. I think it's fun,
I
huh?
love the kid.
It's actually like a really interesting video where it's obviously just an advert. I quite like that. Like, it's like, yeah, we're not even going to pretend to tell you about the game or tell you about ourselves or anything. I mean, I do like to see the people a little bit, just like, hey, I'm blah blah, this is me. Like, if this was a game that was going to... So you've got the little robots and there's 6 different games, okay.
There are 3 airplanes.
And just, yeah, on League of the Lexicon, Alex says, League of the Lexicon gets quotes from Stephen Fry and Susie Dent. Pretty good endorsements for the subject. Yeah, and I know that what else the person did was they also got some of the questions. Like, there's 2,000 questions, which is a lot. I mean, that is really good content. Honestly, like, I would... If I were in the market for a quiz game about words, yes, absolutely. And yeah, some of the finest people have contributed questions to the game. They are the real League of the Lexicon and like all of these types of things. And yeah, there are some less challenging and some tricksy things. And yeah, it is fascinating. What 2 words combine to make the word electrocute? Huh. Electrical and execute? One which yeah, like all of these things, it's like yeah, it was a good game. I'm not going to deny that. It's just yeah. And I think you are working with Alex. You are working with Thingy, aren't you? Are you working part-time for Dina Ramsey's marketing agency and working on behalf of these peeps? Because if so, I mean, like, yeah, it's really interesting the amounts that they've got pledged. That's like almost £100 per person, and it's like, okay, early bird bundle, get the game for 40 quid, but most people are like, hey, let's get more and really want it. And so yeah, so anyway, Joyo.
Well, we can't see them with our eyes. Joyo knows exactly where they are. What we need to do is to ask Joyo for help. If Joyo finds our airplane's head, it turns blue. The first one who finds 2 plane heads wins the game.
Okay, so
You
this
go
is like
first.
battle ships, but with
You go first.
this really reminds me of blinks. Like the blinks are the little hexagonal things that you're combining and then adding to make new projects. And yeah, having a sort of custom technology mixed with the physicality. mean, that is really cool. I just know that anytime you've got electronics, it's kind of like, yeah, can I get this to work? And just for me, but that is really cute. There's a little character randomly in there, little computer, some sort of sensor to scan things. That's cool. And okay, 6 different games. How much are they? Starter kit. It includes 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it includes 3 different games. So, or if you want all 6 of the games, then you need to pay for £83. Yeah, so here, a tribute to the classic battleship experience. Doesn't really tell you how to play these or how they work. Yeah. I mean, it looks really cool, and I would definitely like to try one of these. Like, if it was at an event, I would make a special point of cycling over there or keeping it free in my diary. But yeah, unless without, and forget rulebook, learn to play with help from Joyo's immersive audio and visual feedback. See, this is the thing, like, I sometimes like a rulebook, sometimes I want to consult the pages, even when I was playing groups digitally, sometimes I actually want the paper, and this is not something that I want to have happen. I want, when I'm playing a game, yeah, there are no rules. I'm not okay with that. I am definitely not okay with there being no rules. Maybe I'm a Luddite, but I want some instructions, even if it's even if the computer is going to guide me, I want, yeah, something to be in there. No, I don't like that future where we don't have any rule books at all. Let's look finally at Muskoka. Oh, this is from
Imagine
Canada.
a land both rugged and beautiful, filled with dense, windswept forests and deep, crystalline lakes, woven together by miles of rocky shores and crisp, rushing rivers. A land teeming with wildlife and mystery, yours to explore and discover. A land where a brand new adventure lies just around each bend.
Like, it's cool that you've got the budget to do all this 3D rendering, but come and show me, like, it's a game. Come on.
Welcome to Muskoka.
In Muskoka, the board
Finally.
game, players will travel between iconic destinations by
41
lake and by
seconds in.
land,
That's
collecting
too long.
explore cards that allow them to traverse the beautiful map board. Take in the sights and sounds to gain advantages with 24 unique rest and relax cards, and keep your eyes open for wildlife to collect tokens in order to become the ultimate adventurer. Designed in Canada by friends who met and have continued to return to this magical region, Muskoka is a light strategy game suitable for the whole family and is sure to bring your favorite cottage country and camping memories to life all year round.
That's actually quite cool. Like, Alex says, by the way, Alex, you've not answered my question if you are on the marketing team for Ordina for League of the Lexicon, because if you are, I feel like that should be, you need to, yeah, well, you don't have to, but would you say if there was a skill from freedom to control, you would be very close to the control side? Control for who? Like, if I have control, then that is also freedom for me. Like, the person who has control also has freedom. So I'm not quite sure I understand the scale. Yeah, I don't get it. I would happily answer the question if you can rephrase it in a way that I can understand. This is quite nice. I mean, it's a bit long, I'm not going to lie, like 40 seconds before it got into anything. I like the... Okay, so they don't have anything embedded. It's just, hey, here's the game, here's the stretch goals. Okay, so why Muskoka is brilliant and the place is beautiful and we are giving back to this local place. That sounds lovely. Good for them. Like, it sounds like a very local game. And I'm sure that it's I am sure that it's well made. Let's look at the rule book, because I'm a bit curious now. So you want me to provide a more controlled question? Interesting. Stop playing these mind games with me. Yeah, works with League of the Lexicon. How was that? And are you working part-time for Dina now? Yeah, congrats on that, by the way. Is that paid position, or is that something that you'd rather not talk about publicly? I am happy to stop talking about it. I do like the little start here. That's cute. Wow, this is a big paragraph of text. Complete tutor. Earn 5 categories. So all 5 categories have 25 points. Okay, yeah, the preparation. Come on, rather than having these pretty things, have like just a layout of what it looks like. That's kind of standard. For the number of pages, I mean, it's not a long rule book. It is only 4 pages, but for the number of pages that they've got, it feels like I kind of wish that they had more graphics. I kind of wish that they had a graphic of this is what the board looks like, or, you know, these are what these things look like. I mean, there's literally no picture of any of the game icons, and that's very interesting. It's the first time that I've seen a game do that. Yeah, the art is gorgeous, don't get me wrong, but yeah, it feels like, yeah, I want more pictures in my rule books personally. And Ldec says, yeah, that's right, I'm part of Dina's team. Hope it's going well and enjoying everything. So lots of minis. Animal pins, which are for some reason in the gaming collection, maybe Foggy Fighters or Dungeons and Dragons inspired. Okay. Freezing. Curious what this is. More RPGs. Yeah, there's a lot more RPGs than board games, and there's not that many light party games, possibly because, yeah, now we're getting into stuff that's food court collectibles, Spiceify, where it's a game about getting naked, climate change. Okay, that's cool. Let's have a look at those two, and then I will finish up. So, freezing. Okay, so Last Say.
Last Say is a fun educational card game where you talk about what you did last weekend.
Cool.
How to play, it's simple. Draw.
Why is this announcer constantly? How to play, it's simple. Oh, you're going to laugh so much. It's like they're constantly on the verge of having a breakdown. But I kind of love it.
9 cards, 3 of connecting words and 2 each of the others. Here's how you win points. A phrase that does not include all the colors is 1 point. You steal by adding onto a phrase is 2 points. Includes all the colors is 3 points. But be careful, points are not won right away. First, place the starting card last weekend at the top of the table. Player 1 puts down a phrase and chooses which connecting word to use. Next, player 2 has options. They can either put down a phrase or steal. Player 2 just stole the phrase, but will they get the last say? Player 3 puts their own phrase down. Player 4 is feeling cheeky. They stole the phrase! When it's the next turn of the player who originally put the phrase down, the last player who stole the sentence wins the points and gets the last say. Once the sentence is won, it is removed from the table. It's really important to form well-thought-out sentences so no one can steal. But if you do decide to steal, make sure you don't leave any gaps for other players to steal your sentence. If no one steals your phrase, by the time it reaches your next turn, you win the points. Finish the cards and count up your points to see who got the ultimate last say. Now it's...
I mean, I like this kind of video. I love this. Okay, do the voiceover, but I'm going to be tickling you. And yes, I actually like this. Look, the animation, simple and everything, but it tells me exactly how to play. I'm actually excited about this. I would play this right now. I mean, I could play this right now.
It's your turn to have the
So I want
last
to know,
say
how many
and help
players
bring this
is it for?
amazing project to life. But before you get the last say, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Steph, but many of you may know me by my middle name, Kimmy, as in the influencer from the hit toy TikTok, Kimmy Toys. My TikTok is all about having fun with, you guessed it, toys. Being surrounded by so many innovative and fun toys, it inspired me to create my own and bring good times to game nights. Growing up, I was always obsessed with board games. More specifically, word games like Boggle and Scrabble, and I guess now...
Okay, this is interesting. So this is like after the other word-based game. This is like the second sort of celebrity who's... Well, I'd not heard of them, but I'm actually kind of disappointed that they've only got 92 backers. Like at first I thought this was like I know, like, how many followers did they have?
Dog Kimmy Toy.
Like they've got almost 1 million followers and 14 million likes, and they only managed to get 92 backers. Like something's gone really wrong, it feels like. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, and yeah, that, I mean...
My TikTok is all about having fun with, you guessed it, toys. Being surrounded by so many innovative and fun toys,
I guess it shows that TikToks don't
and bring good times to game nights.
necessarily
Growing up,
translate.
I was always obsessed with board games. More specifically, word games like Boggle and Scrabble, and I guess now Wordle, like everyone else. Am I right? One day I thought to myself, why are there only word games out there and no crazy games? Is that why I was good at spelling as a kid and not writing essays? I used to write gibberish in my essays, and my dad would be sitting next to me by the computer complaining that he didn't understand what I was trying to say in my sentences. We've all been there. But for me, I couldn't write a proper formal essay that made sense until I was in late high school. Even though this may sound embarrassing, I am openly admitting this because I want to be fully transparent with those who are sharing the same struggles that I did. Even though this card game was created to help people with their writing skills, I would have never imagined it could help people with different struggles. For example, those who are in speech therapy or even learning the English language. Please help make this game a reality and make a difference in people's lives. Now it's your turn to have the last say on this campaign. Thank you so much for your help and lots of love times infinity.
I mean, honestly, I kind of feel bad for Kimmy now. I mean, yeah, like, I mean, quick, so it's $1 Canadian to be on the VIP list. Okay, so follow it. Why is that limited? why there's no reason for that to be limited. Print and play for for about £4. Okay, so £5 is similar to the British pounds. Okay, that's fine. Again, why is it limited? Why would you limit a print and play? I mean, the early birds, that is the thing that you would limit. Surely, there's something really, really weird going on here. I mean, yeah, £13, that seems like it's a bit more expensive than I would charge, and it's expensive enough that I'm not sure. But yeah, and like for the people who Kimmy is normally interacting with on TikTok, are they used to higher production values? Maybe they're turned off by the basic graphics. I don't know, because the graphics aren't great. I mean, it looks like they took a lot of effort, but it also looks like I don't know, they are kind of just a little bit messy and simplistic. Small things like the cyan behind the colors, or like the colors aren't super clear. And why do you have the different, yeah, okay, so you form a phrase. Why are they color coded? Is it going to, is there something in the rules where it tells you exactly how it's color coded? No long run sentences that don't make sense. At the party you dance with a friend and bought a movie is not allowed. Okay. No using and twice in a phrase. No trading cards with other players. No switching the connecting words of steal and stealing. No putting down one adjective after another. Okay, so you can only have one adjective. You can rearrange the phrase to add words. And you can swap cards if you don't have playable cards. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I really like what's going on. It does seem like a really solid game, but yeah, and are excited at seeing their own games. That's cool. Why have they got like almost 1 million TikTok followers, and they've only got yeah, like 514 followers, like that. And then 8,000 ish. It's not done a lot of pre-Kickstarter marketing, it looks like. It's been basically, yeah, the first show of it was, okay, sign up to stay tuned. But there's no actual link. Yeah, like, yeah, I find that really interesting. Is that because yeah, I'm just struggling to work out why this. I guess it just shows that social media doesn't always translate. Alex says this is an odd market fit. This is quite a different thing than the type of stuff she's doing on TikTok. Yeah, I mean, rubber bands, bouncy things, candy bubbles. That seems to be I mean, this seems to be definitely about more physical stuff, and yeah, like anyway, I guess it just goes to remind us all that you don't always expect your followers to follow you anywhere, and people expect a certain type of thing from you. Yeah, I mean, I do actually like Last Say, and they have managed to do the goal. I mean, yeah, the truth is that, yeah, there's also a lot of rules on here, and it feels like it should just be votes on whether it makes sense. But yeah, I mean, rearranging the phrase, that's wow, that's a weird design decision. But I don't know if that's, yeah, as you say, Alex, like I really like the game. It's like a word making game, putting words together, but it's just very different. I mean, when you look at the stuff that's behind Kimmy at the start.
Laugh if you do innovative and fun toys. It is complaining school.
Like, you know, you've got the big dolls, and you know, that's kind of Kimmy's brands, like big toys, big plastic things. You're right, yeah. Okay, climate change, the board game. Let's look at this. Huh. Start with a beautiful world. Come on, give me some voiceover, even if it's just you. Kimmy should have made a toy, says Alex. Oh, but that's like a really expensive thing. I mean, you can't make a toy with $3,000. You can't. You need like millions for injection molding and plastics and everything. This, can I just say, like, even though some people, like, Kimmy's voice verged on being over enthusiastic, this is just like under enthusiastic and dull, and like, yeah. Do you have trouble explaining the concerns? Nope. Do the issues get lost in terms of political differences? Do you even know what you think you know? Well, I don't really think I know anything for sure. So I guess, yes, I definitely do not know less than what I think I know. It seems to be confusing, controversial, and fantastical. Does it? Fantastical? Doesn't puts the current issues into perspective, both globally and personally. Discuss, learn, teach. Add refreshments, and you all get to non-threatening reality-based. You are not scared enough. We need some. The object is to not win, to not lose, rather. Okay. Yep. Is this it? Is this the entire person? Like, this feels like really. Okay, yep, I understand. You need money, you need our support for that. Okay, so you've got some, yeah, realistic sounding things. Sounds good. I don't really care about these things. I care about the simplicity and how it plays. I mean, is it? Are we adding rectangular strips for? That seemed okay. And I still don't know how the game plays or anything. Hey, game instructions from this rulebook. Great. Oh wow, this is not a good rule. It's like saying all the yeah, literally no pictures at all. Setup rules. Okay. Relocate. How do we? Come on, give me something. Give me an overview. Give me some example of how to play this. Yeah. Now you're making me do all the work. If I want to know how to play it, I've got to read the instructions. Give me a vague overview. I don't need to know every single feature. I mean, having the rules is good, but I just want to say, hey, this is how you play. 11 backers. I mean, good on you. You got 11 backers. At least it's not 0 backers. And I guess you've got 1 backed, first created, 1 backed, so at least you've got some understanding of what's going on. But first edition of the game, 120 quid. Oh my. And you're trying to spread the message, and the only way that someone can get the game is by spending 100 quid, and you're limiting it to 135 people. Why would you limit it? I mean, are these being handmade? Oh yeah, handmade plaster game tokens. Yeah, wow. This is, wow. Wow. This makes me sad. Yeah, I think that they've got their, I understand they're trying to spread the word, and I understand, hand making stuff is cool, but it's okay to make stuff, in bulk. And frankly, if you want to share a message, you've got to make things on bulk. So, no. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop. Yeah, I said, yeah, so I hope this has been somewhat entertaining. And now, question of the day. Question of the day. Here's a little question before we go on our way. Question of the day. So my question of the day, did any of these Kickstarters excite you and make you feel, yeah, I want to back that? Did any of them make you feel a bit sad? I mean, honestly, I think I've done a pretty good job of explaining my own viewpoints already. But yeah, which one was your favorite of the ones that I showed? Over to you. What's up to you? Can share button if you want to. I'm going to be doing a bit of getting ready for episode 700, getting profiles together, working on a couple of games, meeting Layla in the evening, and also I'm playing Aquamarine with Rory Muldoon, Matthew Dunstan, and Michael J. Fox. So yeah, I'll have a wee bit of a walk. It looks like it might get a bit hot in a wee bit, so I'll go out for a quick walk, just maybe around the block. While it's still not too hot, is there anything that you want to do that you want to share? Alex says, I'm just generally trying to keep cool. Recap and wrap up before we finish up. Let's recap and wrap up. So I talked about the things I am backing, which is Board Game Day, a cute little children's book, Bagh Chal, a game where you pay what you want, and it's this Nepalese board game. That looks quite cool. Lewd Adventures, like a storytelling game where you're performing sexual favors to come back to life, and Isle of Trains, which just seems like a really well put together game. And I really also love that they're sticking to these small boxes. I mean, this could have been a bigger box, but I mean, like when you look at how everything fits together, it basically could not have been, it could not have been smaller. Like, I mean, now I've got to fit everything in again. Like, it took me a little bits of time to fit the stuff in. So like that's what I like. It shouldn't take me loads of time, but like taking me 30 seconds to put the stuff in, to be like, oh, I need to move that around. Okay, cool. It's much better than having a game where 3/4 of the box is empty. And yep. So we talked about that. Then we talked about all the other stuff that's coming out. This, which seems to be a somewhat well-funded game from some indie rock band that Alex knows. What did you say they were? A punk band, sorry. And so hence the reference to being less nice and ruthless. Okay. And yeah, Freedom and Freeze continues to have their fans. Weird Science, a nice little print magazine. Might support them. This is a cute little social deduction game where, yeah, I'm struggling to... I said I'd forget the rules. Let's see if I can remember the rules. So if there's a majority of... If only the... If no knight cards are played, the people in the majority get points. And if one knight card is played, that person gets points. If 2 or more knight cards are played, then everyone else gets points, right? Yeah. So I have managed to internalize it. So it's not that complex. But it's like, now, could other people internalize it? Can we understand what we're trying to do? And that's an interesting thing of, okay, what to stop? I want some guidance. I think that's the key thing. Like, as the starting player, I guess I would probably tell the truth. But then if I always tell the truth, and like this is what I've done, then one person is going to, well, then everyone else will just play the opposite thing. And who would play knight? So yeah, it does become very much about social deduction. Yeah. It kind of feels like once you play this game like 10 times, I think it could be really fun. But would I actually get to that point? League of the Lexicon. It's a really nice word quiz game. Joyo, like, this looks super exciting. I still don't understand your question that you asked me, Alex, about freedom and control. But yeah. Like, no paper rules. Like, I want paper rules. And then Muskoka, like this game about a particular park in Canada, which is quite cute. I mean, maybe I should make a game about Hamilton. Like, I mean, not that Hamilton's that great, to be honest. I mean Hamilton near Glasgow, by the way, just in case you weren't sure. I wonder if I could get a board game cafe to sponsor a game that was all about them. Like, I wonder if I could get the Ludoquist to sponsor me to make a game based on the Ludoquist. And then climate change, which I love their idea, but yeah, super expensive and no idea how it plays. Whereas, this one, I get an idea how it plays, and like, cool, that actually sounds quite cool, but I'm not driven by it. And maybe for the people who haven't seen these animations, maybe that's a bit simplistic for what those kids are looking for. Maybe it doesn't quite have the thing, I don't know. Like, I mean, Kimmy, it feels like Kimmy should have just uploaded this whole how to play onto their TikTok to get people into it. I don't know. But yeah, and Dave Clark's doing well with Moon. And can't remember the name of the designer, Hakon Hulgarder. Congratulations to those peeps. So yeah. Hello, Joanne. Lovely to see you. And lovely cat. Joanne says, I wonder, Bez, if you could design a browser game to be played on Twitch, such as Words on Screen. Maybe with like your at least months of research and learning how to code, but I am not a coder. That is out with my field of expertise. If someone wanted to work with me to, like, I think that rules design would be within my field of expertise, but I think that, yeah, I am not a coder, so I would not even start there or even consider that, because I try to start things that I can actually finish off myself. Alex says, freedom versus control, like how much do you need to know about the situation to enjoy it? Yeah, I mean, but I don't see, freedom seems to be a bad word. Like, yeah, I want to know more about the situation. Yeah, I do like to have knowledge. Isn't that a knowledge versus uncertainty thing? Like, I don't know where you get off on calling it, I mean, sorry, get off is a wrong phrase, but why do you choose to call it freedom versus control? I mean, but yeah, absolutely, you're right. I do like to know what I'm getting into, and I like to have, but within a game, I am okay saying, okay, within this is the chaos, and anything can happen, but I want to know even then, ideally, what types of things can happen. Like if you say, and I've noticed this with a lot of people of Yogi, when I say flip the card and do what it says, they're like, oh, what kind of stuff does it say? I'm like, oh, don't. And they want, maybe they're worried that it's going to say something like kiss your neighbor or something that they are uncomfortable with. But I'm like, no, they don't ask you to touch anyone else. They just ask you to move your body, and it won't be, and if you're ever physically uncomfortable, just stop doing it. And so, yeah, I think people do want to know within parameters what they're getting up to. But obviously for everyone, those parameters are going to be different. Yeah. At this point, thank you very much, everyone, for being part of here. Thank you, everyone who's been watching. Thank you, Joanne, for jumping in. If you want to check me out, then please do remember to check out the stuffbybez.com/contest. And there is an Ldec design contest. I already have, wait, let me put that back up. So the Ldec design contest entries close on Sunday in 2 weeks' time. We've had 3 entries so far, and all of them I'm excited to play, genuinely. I've forgotten one of them now. Oh, no, yeah, I remember it. Yep, 3 of them I've read through the rules. I'm excited to play all of them, all by people that I know to some capacity, and that's why it's important for me to anonymize it, so that then I can ask David Brain and possibly like previous winners. Previous winners, you are allowed to, you know, put forward your designs, and if you make it to the finalists, you won't be invited to judge, obviously. Although maybe I might invite you to judge, like, based on the other people, like that might, yeah, obviously also be a good thing. But yeah, even though Chris isn't working for me as much, hopefully I can get Layla and someone else to come over and do a stream, maybe in the evening, maybe in the afternoon, where it's like, okay, let's play through the stuff, and I'll have to gather 4 players for some of them. It'll be fine. We're not in a pandemic anymore. I mean, not to the same extent. Speaking of which, I need to get my 3rd shot. But please do check out the contest if you are interested. I mean, Joanne, I know you had some games for the Ldec that you'd already made. So please write down the rules and send it over, and then I can try playing it myself. And if it's cool, like, I'll give you feedback, and I'll talk about how I feel about it and how accessible it is, and maybe tweak it, and with your, hopefully, and give you guidance on how it could be even better, or how I would refine it. And if that sounds like a nice thing, because I know a lot of the games were like, oh, this is a little bit different to how Bez taught it, but it's like this. I mean, some of those games that you've been playing, that I've seen you playing on stream, are basically games in their own right. And stuffbybez.com/art contest, it was lovely to see the entries last year. We've not had any entries yet, so please do draw like letter shapes. Whether you draw letter shapes like lipstick or on a mirror, or probably on paper if you're going to then take a photo or try to scan it, or whether you do some collage, or whether you want to do some pixel art, or whether you want to make it out of triangles or whatever. Like, I'd love to see the way you do typography and how you would write the Ldec fundamentally. And yep, someone will get some stuff. And of course, at the bottom, it's scrolling ground. I've got Stuff by Bez in all the places. Discord, stuffbybez.com/discord, stuffbybez.bigcartel.com, twitter.com/stuffbybez, instagram.com/stuffbybez, twitch.tv/stuffbybez, youtube.com/stuffbybez, facebook.com/thingsbybez. And feel free to check out one of my forthcoming Kickstarters. I decided yesterday that this might not be my next Kickstarter, which is why I did an entire Kickstarter for this, which might be my next Kickstarter instead. But please check that out. Thank you, everyone. Share, spread the word. So much love. And the only thing left for me to say at this point is bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye, 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 bye. This is a goodbye song. Bye, 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 bye. Thank you for watching along. Bye, 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 bye. This is the end of the show. Bye, 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 bye. And now it's time to go. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.